basing this week's reflection on a couple of verses from Matthew 18, and it's verses 15 to 17. It's an issue Jesus is talking about what to do when you've got an issue between you and somebody else. Now, I'm not talking about if they've done something criminal, because that needs to be reported, but there's always little things that come between us and another person. For example, maybe they've spread lies about you because it's to some advantage of theirs to do so. Now, the natural human reaction is, I'm going to tell everybody what a rotter that so-and-so is. Or if you don't tell them, you just stew away and let things sort of bubble up inside you. Or you plot for revenge. And this is not the advice that Jesus gives. Jesus' advice is go and show him his fault just between the two of you. Now, that advice can lead us to do two things. One is to say, no way, I'm not going to go and confront him because we don't like confrontation. The other way is to say, yeah, I'll show him, I'll have him begging for mercy in 1 minute flat. Neither of those is right. The first way only allows hurt to build up inside of us, and it'll make us bitter and possibly lead us to do something stupid. The second way is just adding one wrong to another. When Jesus said go and show him his fault, it isn't to be in any judgmental way. We're to go with the attitude that we want this issue resolved, and we want it resolved in a way that our relationship can be restored. So we don't go in judgment to one another, but we go in the hope of having the matter settled in a way that's going to bring peace to both of us. Jesus uses the same teaching in Matthew 5, where he's giving a whole lot of teaching to his disciples. It follows on the Sermon on the Mount, or was really part of it. And he's saying the law is not just outward observance. It's got to do with what's going on in your heart. For example, the law says you shall not murder. But Jesus said, if you get angry with your brother or somebody else, you're in danger of judgment, because the act of murder starts in the desire of the heart. And so he goes on to say that if you're offering your gift at the altar and remember that your brother has something against you, he says, first go, be reconciled with your brother, and then come and offer your gift. God is not pleased when we have issues between us. Now, we all have times when there will be something that happens, and the easiest thing is often to just pretend it didn't happen and just be very civil and nice to that person. But the whole time we feel uncomfortable, and we also know that the relationship we've got with them is very shallow. It's just covering over what's underneath. We're called to take the hard way, to deal with it. It may be hard, but it is worth it. That one-on-one meeting should be open, non-judgmental, a statement of the wrong that the other has done, but it also has to offer forgiveness. And again, that offer must be in a humble way, not in any superior way. The other person needs to acknowledge their wrong, and they need to repent of it. And that's when relationship can be restored and the incident can be forgotten. But it is quite possible that the other person might deny that they ever told those lies. It wasn't them, it was someone else who spread them. Or they just don't care. They think, well, you were getting what you deserve anyway. If that's the case, Jesus says then, take one or two others with you. And this means that the matter becomes not just one of he said, she said, but these people have to be trustworthy people, people who won't gossip, and they're very genuine in their wanting the situation to be resolved. They're not there to be heavy-handed like a 3-on-1. They're there to facilitate discussion. But they're also there as witnesses to what is said, so that the other person can't sort of, again, add to things by lying about what was said in your discussion. But then if the person still refuses to listen, Jesus said, treat them as a pagan or a tax collector. Now, in those days, the Jews looked down on people who were not Jewish, pagan people. They despised the tax collectors because tax collectors were working for Rome, their overlords, their enemies. So does this mean that if a person still doesn't listen after we've had another couple of people go with us, that we just despise them? We need to remember Jesus was teaching his followers, and so he would expect them to treat pagans and tax collectors the way that Jesus treated them. Jesus mixed with these people to the point that the Jewish authorities criticised him. He's eating with sinners and tax collectors. But Jesus chose to mix with such people because he wanted to show them that God loved them. He wanted them to come to know God personally for themselves. He treated them with love, and his love had the power to call them to change. In fact, the writer of the Gospel, Matthew, had been a tax collector himself, one whom Jesus had called to become a follower. So in summary, we're to deal with issues that arise between us. We can't just ignore them, but we're to deal with them in love, and we're to deal with them in the best interest of the other person.